if I have Hinge or Bumble and I'm looking at women's profiles, there does seem to be maybe 50% of profiles are what they're not looking for and what turns them off. A prompt could be change my mind about men. It's like it's all that. Yeah, it's like they've already made up their mind about men, and so you feel like you're on the back foot, like proving I'm one of the good ones. Like I'm nice, I'm respectable.
Yeah.
I know you've had maybe a bad experience in the past, like we all have. I mean, I've had some awful experiences in the past as well, and I understand that because you don't it feels like you are hyper vigilant and you look out for red flags, and as soon as one pops up, it's like nope. No, they said that thing in that certain way, and I think this is what they're referring to. So I'm just going to get out like while I can,
Yeah.
and so that's what I see. And if I see that on a profile, I'm just like no,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
discount it straight away.
Yeah, and I think that it definitely is not a good thing to have on your profile because it's coming from a negative space, and it would be
Yeah,
much nicer to phrase that as what you're hoping from a relationship and what you're hoping to find, and not in a checklist format, but in a like values and feelings and life aspirations, because then it's a kind of hopeful thing that you can feed into rather than like, oh, okay, well, I have one of those things that you don't want, so maybe you don't want me. Um, and you kind of touched on, I think, I guess my frustration comes with like not seeing the other side of the story. Like I think quite often women are ready to be like, oh, men are just all terrible at the moment and they have these terrible profiles with pictures in bathrooms and fish and all this stuff. They're not putting any effort in, and then we'll all get together and bitch about it, or it spills over into social media in echo chambers where people will just pile in with their bad experience, bad experience, bad experience, and you're not seeing the other point of view. And it's like, well, we're all humans and we're all built for connection, and if you want to date men, then you kind of need to like and respect them as a basis. And there is definitely some shoddy behavior that's not nice. God, I could go on a fun feminist rant now, and I'm really trying to hold myself back from it. But like the
feel
patriarchy,
free.
it does a disservice to both men and women. We're all kind of being held victims of it, and it's not a them versus us. We'll never get any kind of better solution by being them versus us and confrontational. We get it by coming together. And for every person, let's go with the ones that have had bad behavior in the past, it's probably coming out of hurt. It's probably coming out of a place of insecurity, of lack of confidence. And if they're then in a strong relationship where somebody sees them and together they're supporting each other and they have each other's back, that bad behavior would probably fall away. Or maybe it won't. Maybe there just are some bad apples as well, but not all. Like I think 99% of people are good, and we, because of all these echo chambers, are taking all the bad stories and the bad experiences and just amplifying it and assuming everyone is in that camp, which to me just doesn't feel like we're going to ever get anywhere. So yeah, definitely not a list of negative things I don't want on your profile, please. And I think that is the fundamental thing of not seeing the other point of view of, most men are probably not like that, and now you've just discounted a whole load of really good ones because they're seeing this negative profile, which then feeds into your story of there's no good ones left. The ones that probably will message you won't have read your profile to see that negative list, or they will be like, oh, I can change her, and they'll just come in with like this level of arrogance that will then prove that there are arsehole men out there, and it just isn't getting us anywhere. And I mean, I think the stats on men's usage of online dating is actually quite enlightening if women knew that there's more men than women on all the platforms have more men than women. Two, most women are more selective in how many profiles they'll swipe yes to, so they're only swiping yes to about, I think, 30% of profiles that they look at. So then you get this kind of chunk of popular profiles that are getting a lot of attention, and then 70% of men's profiles are getting absolutely no attention, and then it's feeding into these negative stories. So if from the guy's side they have thought women only want men with Ferraris, I have no hope because I'm never going to get there, and that's not true. I don't think women are out for that. They're just looking for safety and security, and that you have a similar level of drive. And I don't think that drive necessarily has to be that economic drive, but it has to be, you know, that you have some get up and go about you. And yeah, we just end up in these different camps with these bad stories.